Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sadivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Gavana Lalita Sri Vishakha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama,
Oh, Prabhu, it's just not stuff. How many days do we You coming? Yeah? Come inside. No? Oh, come with your mom. What?
Why don't you, can we be with the Sankirtan? Wow. For now, if they want to pay by card, they can pay at the reception, Sankirtan. Yeah, just take anybody. No.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Shoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Munatira Vanachari Munatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Munatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Nityai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityai Gora Hari Bol, Nityai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityai Gora Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gora Hari Bol. Gaur Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tonight we are reading from chapter 8, verse 17. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yat Brahmano Vitu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Yanaha. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. Word by word. Sahasra 1,000. Yuga millenniums. Paryantam including. Aha day. Yat that. That which. Brahmana of Brahma. Vitu they know. Ratrim night. Yuga millenniums. Sahasra antam similarly. Similarly or ending after 1,000. Te day. Aha ratra. Aha ratra day and night. Vida who understands. Janaha people. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Sorry. Purport. The duration of the material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice. And the yuga lasts 1,728,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts 1,296,000 years. In the Dwapara Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts 864,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existence. And this yuga lasts 432,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as the Kalki avatar, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas, rotating 1,000 times, comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number comprise one night. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then he dies. These 100 years by earth calculations total to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. By these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. In the causal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord in the management of this universe. Therefore, he at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmaloka, which is in the highest planet in the material universe, and which survives all the heavenly planets in the upper strata of planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subject to death according to the law of material nature. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, are you saying? Please, if you wish, please come forward or at least take a question. Come and sit here, and you have the Bhagavad Gita as well. Yeah, we can have a good discussion. Okay. That's good. Tonight we're doing chapter 8, verse 17. I just read the verse and the purport. I just do a prayer, and then after that we start discussing what we can understand from this verse. Om Ajnanat Mirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakana Lakita Shri Vishakanatam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Yushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpa Tarukyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhu, for coming. I read the verse again. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmanu Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vidu. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Okay, this chapter 8 is titled Attaining the Supreme. And it's kind of, self-explanatory that, how we could attain Krishna, how we could go there. And in previous verses, it was telling us that if we remember Krishna at the time of death, that is guaranteed that we could go back to the spiritual world. And in order to remember him at the time of death, we need to practice during the life to remember him, to serve him, to basically all the service we do, all the readings, all the chantings. Ultimately, the purpose is for that aim, that we could remember him when we die. And this thing about death, these few verses now is talking about previous verse. I just read previous verse. It says, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Why Krishna is talking about that? Because a lot of people, everybody, nobody likes death. Is that correct? Death. Nobody wants to die. And that Prabhupada says this is natural. It's okay not wanting to die. Why is it natural? What do you think?
Because when you see
Okay. So you are saying the reason people don't want to die is because first death can be painful. So we hear, we haven't died, but we hear that death can be very painful. So we don't want to face that situation. And also we leave a lot of things behind. We can't take anything with us when we die. So that's also another reason that we don't want to die, because we have made a lot of attachments in this world. Yes, both with objects and with people. We have made attachments. So to the thought of leaving them behind is also painful. Yes, is that what you were saying? Thank you. Well, definitely, that is probably goes in most people, in the mind of most people. But also from the point of view, but also Prabhupada says, wanting to live forever, whether it was painful or not, whether we had attachments or not, wanting to live forever, it's natural. It's not, we shouldn't blame people, saying that, you can see, of course, everybody is dying, is going to die, but desiring not to die and wanting to live forever is natural, because the soul, our real identity, is eternal, never dies. So there is something, we identify with the body, but because we are not this body, because we are a spirit soul, somewhere, somehow we have this feeling that, I shouldn't die. It's not natural. I don't want to die. Of course, as you said, the fear is there. But it's okay not wanting to live forever. But the problem is people go about that in the wrong way. Everybody wants to live forever, or everybody wants to prolong their life, but because we still have the material identity, we still try to do it, materially. We still, for example, we try to eliminate disease, right? It's not possible, but that's what science is trying to do, that there will be no disease. And we try to live longer and longer and longer. And this is still in this life. But it's not happening, no matter how much the science improves, after 100 years, 150 years, at the end, we die. The body dies. But also, in a different way, also people try to live longer, and that is by, they learn from the Vedas that by doing different kind of activities, by different kind of sacrifices, they can go to the higher planet. After they end this life, they can go to other planets, to heavenly planets. Have you heard about that? They can go there and they live many, 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 many more years. And that is also possible. Okay, some materialistic people don't believe in that, but a lot of people do believe and they do try. And in the Vedas, it has been given the instructions how we can do that. But the previous verse said that from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. Right? So no matter where we go, in, let's say, higher planets, let's say we are lucky we go to the heavenly planets, and we live, thousands years. But still, at the end, we die. Hare Krishna. No, you take it home for your family. No. Thank you. Oh, come in, come in. So that is talking about, heavenly planets, the other higher planets where the life is much, much longer. But the topmost planet, do you know what is the topmost planet? In the material. Goloka Vrindavan is in the spiritual world. It is the topmost, but it's in the spiritual world. Sorry, my question was not clear. I meant in the material world, what is the topmost planet? There is, I think, one above that. What is it? Brahmaloka. You know who lives in Brahmaloka? Lord Brahma. That is the highest planet in the material world. But tonight's verse, it says that by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So the longest you can live in material world is in Brahmaloka. And Prabhupada, in fact, in his purport, he has calculated exactly how many years, Lord, you can live there. After he puts, he tells us different yugas and, because you know how old Lord Brahma is? How many years he lives? Just simple, okay, his years are different, but he lives 100 years, but his 100 years is very, very different from our 100 years. And 1,000 cycles, of 4 yugas makes his day, one day, and that is 12 hours. And 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas makes his night, right? So this is for just 24 hours of his life, okay? And he lives 100 years of these 24 hours. And Prabhupada has calculated it comes to total 311 trillion and 40 billion Earth years. So it is long, isn't it? It is long, very, very long. But still, he's going to die. So even if we can make it there, which Prabhupada says, some advanced sannyasis, he says elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's planet. But we should not think that, even living 311 trillion and 40 billion years, we're going to live forever. The material body dies. But, so, the desire to live for eternity is okay because we are a spirit soul. But how is it possible then? If even in Brahmaloka is not possible, then how we can achieve that? Let's see a problem. Well, we all want to live forever because, and it's natural, because we are not this body, we are a spirit soul, and the spirit soul is eternal. But while we are in the material body, no matter where in the universe, even in the highest planet, Brahmaloka, still we're going to die. So how can we achieve that eternal life? By going back to God. Is that correct, Mataji? Yes. Perfect. You actually answered my next question because Prabhu said we can live forever by going back to the spiritual world. But then the question is that how we can go back to the spiritual world? And Radha Shakti Mataji answered. Did you hear? Did you hear what Mataji said? Would you like to tell me what did you understand from what Mataji said?
Yeah, I think what Mataji said, at time of annihilation, it's only the protocol we want to stay, and all other law is going to be solution. And that's why when we are in that is what eventually qualify. And we continue to carry on. Even as and then so that's what I understand that
Yeah, well, you went even further. You said that when the whole material universe, when the whole material universe is, when the time of the time comes and the whole material universe is destroyed, it's only material universe which, annihilates. The spiritual universe remains. And if we manage to get there, to the spiritual universe, then that is how we can live eternally. Yes? That's how we can live, because we are not in the material universe anymore. We've gone to the spiritual universe. Yes, going to the spiritual world, that is how, that is the place to live forever. Mataji was also adding, before that, she says that we don't need to wait until material universe is destroyed. In fact, while we are still living in the material world, we're having our lives, we need to lead our life in such a way that we would be able to go. We would be qualified to go. It's not like because we are eternal souls, when the universe is destroyed, then we just automatically go to the spiritual world. It's not like that. We need to qualify ourselves. Okay, let me first make sure that I understood your question. So you are asking that, you understand that we have to behave in such a way that eventually we are purified, therefore we are qualified to go back to the spiritual world. But until we get there, we are in the material world, and Maya, the material energy of the Lord, is very, very strong. And you said she puts obstacles for us. She prevents that to happen. Yes. Yes.
Maya is also main importantly like making us forget making us forgetful about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're reminding us that Maya's job is to cover us, to help, actually makes us to forget Krishna, and so therefore we won't be able to go back to the spiritual world. So you're asking that in that case, and a lot of us, fall into Maya's clutches. So what happens to us? Yes, is that what you're asking? What do you think? Sattva. Okay. Oh. Okay. Very nice question. This is question a lot of people have. You are saying that your experience of life is that, your life is mostly on the sattvic, is in the mode of goodness. But you know and you experience other modes as well. Mode of passion and, well, you didn't mention mode of ignorance, but you said that you do experience mode of passion both within other people and within yourself, and it with other people, it affects you as well. So you are saying that how you are asking how you can protect yourself from that. You're wondering if you just should avoid everything, you should avoid the outside world and lock yourself in a room so you won't be affected by all these different modes. Is that your question? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? On Ekadashi days, you just stay at home, you lock yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that every Ekadashi you do that? Mm-hmm. Really? Oh, wow. Okay, so you're saying that even the experience you had on Ekadashi, just the last Ekadashi, you decided to completely isolate yourself from the outside world, and you stayed at home, you chanted, you read, and you even fasted the whole day, and you didn't even feel hungry. And you're asking that, well, if that worked and it gave you so much good feelings. So is that the way you should go about? Let's see if Rajshakti Mataji has some answer for you. Yeah. Pardon? I think his light was that, the way I understood was that before he was asking, what should we do, how we should deal with Maya. And he said that, well, should we lock ourselves in and just avoid everything else? And he said that, he did experiment and it worked for him. So at least for one day it worked. So that is your light. That is what you're saying, that you think. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that worked for you, and you were wondering that whether you should just lead your life like that? Okay. So what do you think, Rajshakti Mataji? Can I just, I just wanted to see if I can get the other, Prabhu, can we get the other microphone? Could you get the other microphone so when Mataji is speaking, people can hear? Then I have just, let's see. Okay. I just repeat what you say. Okay, that's good. Great. No, it's for the interview.
So, can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. What I want to say is that there is example of Bharat Maharaj who did that, and he was on a very, very advanced level. But Maya can even come in even when you're isolating. We can't underestimate Maya. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's very strong. She knows your weak points. And so in case of Bharat Maharaj, he was on the stage of Bhava. His practice had reached a very high level of, according to us, very high level of practice, But even then, he got distracted and he became attached to the deer. So, the scriptures, they caution us that that it's not that we need to isolate ourselves, but we need to make ourselves strong enough not to become affected by the externals, So if we, our sadhana and our study of scriptures, everything is strong. And very important lesson I learned today is when we study or we hear, then we think about it. What we have heard, what we have read, we think about it. We do smaranam. And if there is no smaranam, you don't get as much benefit. In Sikh Goswami's Ashtakam, that he was talking about Rupa Goswami, Lal Govinda Prabhu, and he said that Rupa Goswami, he was able to, he heard from Mahaprabhu what Mahaprabhu wanted to do. He wanted Shastra to be elaborated on the principles of bhakti, and so Rupa Goswami, he did that, but he was very much meditative on what he was finding in the scriptures, and put it in a way that general people can also understand. So he did smaranam, and smaranam is very, very, very important. So whatever we hear or we read or study, we need to do smaranam. We need to think about it,
Okay.
reflect on it, think about it, And in this way, it gets deep to our heart, and it cleanses our heart. And when our heart is clean or cleansed, then we won't be so much affected by the external things, you know.
Okay. Let's see if Prabhu, you hold that. You hold that. Do you remember? What did you understand from what Mataji said? It was a bit long, but